Hey, what's going on? You know who it is. You know what it is. All right, man. I got to keep it 100. You know what? Roger Goodell, he really should step down. And I think the fans, I think the owners, they should try to force him out of the NFL. Because Roger Goodell has been a disaster. And it's just time for people to admit it. See, the thing is, keep in mind, this internet shit and this social media shit is strong now. When we start putting videos out saying Roger Goodell should resign, because see, at the end of the day, fuck the media. We got more power than the media, and we got just as much power as them. It's time for Roger Goodell to get the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? Just like we put pressure on the NFL and exposing them on how they treating Colin Kaepernick, Roger Goodell need to get the fuck out. Because this bullshit that they started when he first took over with this trying to be the Justice League, you know, trying to be, you know, Judge Dredd and shit, judge, jury, and executioner and shit, you know what I'm saying? The inconsistencies of the suspensions, you know, 5 games for this person, 3 games for this person, depending on what color they are. You know what I'm saying? The only reason why they went after Tom Brady, because, like I said, people was questioning Roger Goodell, like, hey, man, you sure like, you know, lowering the boom on the brothers, man. But you sure don't come down hard on these white boys and shit. So we all knew that the Tom Brady suspension was just, you know, a smokescreen, just to take a little bit of heat off of Roger Goodell. But, you know, as soon as Roger Goodell took over, he started handing out suspensions like they was candy and shit. And now you got all this bullshit that then jumped off since he then took over, scandal after scandal. And then I do believe that the NFL received the Ray Rice tape, and they covered it up. I believe they was lying. I believe they had the tape all along, and they just didn't think that TMZ was going to get a hold of it. I guarantee you the NFL got more scandals they covering up than they want people to believe. And Roger Goodell needs to step down. I like the old days when Paul Tagliabue, you know, was running the NFL. All this shit about, oh, it's a privilege to play in the NFL is complete bullshit. That's whitewash. That's white propaganda. Once again, white people thinking they own niggas, and they don't. Because what it really come down to is these white motherfuckers, they jealous of these black dudes, and that's all it come down to, because they don't have the talent to play professional football. So, of course, they started talking this shit about, yeah, now, all this shit, you know, they should be suspended and all this bullshit. First of all, the NFL is an entertainment league. Let me ask y'all something. When these actors get caught or arrested doing something, you know what I'm saying, do the Screen Actors Guild suspend them from making movies? No, absolutely not, because they in the entertainment business. You don't see the Screen Actors Guild saying, oh, man, you can't make movies for a year shit. No. This only happens in the NFL because, once again, 70% of the league is black. That's all this shit is all about, trying to call themselves having the, you know, cracking the whip. You know, keeping these niggas in check. That's what this shit is all about. That's what it's been about for the longest. And we need to stop this bullshit, man. Because at the end of the day, who gives a fuck if the dude get arrested for drunk driving? As long as his ass make bill, and on the football field, that's all that should matter. How many of you motherfuckers got arrested and bailed out in time to make it to work? Or did something in your job, found out about it, and you got to keep your job and shit? Real talk. But that's what this suspension shit is all about. Calling themselves cracking the whip. You know what I'm saying? I'm just keeping it 100 and shit. Roger Goodell has been a disaster. He's been a fucking disaster since he's took over. He's made mistake after mistake, fuck up after fuck up, scandal after scandal. He needs to go. They need to run his ass out of the NFL. But we know the owners are keeping him there because he's making their money. But at the end of the day, keep in mind, if you put enough pressure and make these videos and start calling the NFL saying that Roger Goodell need to go, eventually they gonna start looking at this dude. The shit gonna start getting out there and shit. But yeah, man, this dude, Roger Goodell, has been a fucking disaster since he took over as commissioner for Paul Tagliabue. Because at the end of the day, I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't give a fuck what these athletes was doing, to be honest with you. Because all I cared about is wanting to watch them play football and shit. But since all of a sudden, they started, see, you got to take the good with the bad. Since you guys started wanting to be judge, jury, and executioner and trying to suspend everybody for whatever. Then when motherfuckers started protesting against certain social issues, then all of a sudden you had a problem. You can't have it both ways. You can't sit up there and try to suspend somebody for doing something that you think is wrong, but then you have a problem with a motherfucker that's taking a stand against certain issues that's going on in the community. Like I said, if you want to just be an entertainment league, then don't sit up and talk about breast cancer awareness. Don't talk about none of that shit. Don't talk about, you know what I'm saying, drug driving. Don't talk about domestic violence. Don't talk about none of that shit. If you want to just entertain people, then just entertain. Don't be, just be the NFL. Real talk. I'm out.